I'm gonna clap it out, which means we're live. So
All right, we're live.
we are live, Arturo. And I have known you for quite some time, but I know that other people might not know you, and I do know that some people know you. But for those that think they know you, for those that don't know you, can you just give a little intro of who you are, a little bit of a background? I know you've done this before, so I guess you're gonna be good at it, but just do it again for us.
All right. No problem. My name is Arturo Pereyra Ferreras. I'm from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, 28 years old, and I'm a, let's say, entrepreneur, surfer, beach bum, chill guy, and I like to hustle, chill, surf, and live. What else
Wow.
do you want to know, my friend?
I usually you see this is a good way to start off because it just shows that you're the type of guy. There's no fluff. It's just is what it is, and you labeled it. You know, you're a surfer. You could even throw in big wave surfer because you do charge when the days when the storms.
I do take some big ones.
And you're the type of guy that how you do business is almost how you surf, which is you go big and you ain't planning to go home. You know, you're committing all the way, no matter what happens.
That's that's true. That's true.
So
Um,
so tell me then a little bit about because you left it very you just put the bones. I need a little bit of meat here so we could build off of it. How was your what are some key events that have happened in your life that now you're 28 years old? Looking back, what are some things that are like this was important? This was uh this was a key moment in my life.
okay. So
And
first
take me
off,
back to the
let's
first one.
start when I finished. Yep. Yep. Let's say when I finished school, 2010. I was 18, living in Santo Domingo, and my parents unfortunately lose their business. And in that moment, they decided to move from Santo Domingo to live with my grandparents and go to university, and or go to Cabarete with them and start a new life. So as a surfer, nothing gave me more excited than moving to Cabarete. So I moved to Cabarete when I was 18 and lived there until I was 26. So 8 years living in Cabarete. In the first 2 years, no, first year, me, my father, and my brother, we tried to make an online business. My father had the idea of being online coach and multi-level marketing programs and all that stuff, and that didn't work out that much. Then we had the opportunity to manage a restaurant in Extreme Hotel. We named the restaurant Chichigua, and we managed that restaurant for 2 years, 2011 to 2013. And there, I had a really good time. I worked really hard, learned the importance of having a good team and good family because it was like my whole family worked there um, full time, especially in low season. Let's say my mother was the chef, and I was the sous chef at night, and I work in the bar in the morning, then in the kitchen at night. My brother worked at home in the morning, then in the bar at night. So we all work in the bar some way somehow, and it was um, really cool experience working with the whole family in a
Yeah.
restaurant and in front of the beach. And then 2013, we like during those times in the restaurant, it was good. But the thing in Cabarete in high season, you make money. In low season, you lose the money.
Almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah. In the restaurant business, in that type of business, that was what's happening to us. So we were always searching for new income or different income besides the restaurant, and that's when Kikaboni came out. So,
And what is Kikaboni?
so Kikaboni is a company or a brand that creates healthy snacks.
Okay.
We started with the first snack we started was moringa breadstick, palitos de moringa, and then it developed or evolved to moringa pita chips. So let's say we make healthy pita chips with superfoods like moringa, quinoa, chia, and no sugar. We low fat, baked, high protein, high fiber.
Yeah.
Good for your soul, good for your body. And so yeah, since 2013, me and my family, we've been working in Kikaboni. I'm like the production manager. I'm in charge of producing all the chips, producing new products, and making sure they taste good when you buy them.
And that is one thing you're good at. That is one thing you're good at. But one thing that I think I missed is you went to university to become, was it a baker or a chef? It was a baker.
Baker. So
And that was before Cabaret or after or during?
After Cabaret and after Kikaboni, I went for half a year to Buenos Aires in 2014.
Okay.
We launched Kikaboni October 2013. And since the beginning, I was in charge of production. My brother was in charge of sales. My father, who was the original recipe creator, was more in charge of the vision for the future of our company. So he was always like visioning, like, oh, we're gonna need this machine, we're gonna need this amount of space, the factory should be like this, and if we start selling here, then we can grow. If we export, we're gonna be good and have good money. So let's focus on that.
Yeah.
So he direct a lot of the strategy in those times. And 2014, the opportunity came that I could go to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and study bread school, basically, because it's different to be a pastry chef than a bread maker. I don't know how you say in English, but yeah, make bread. So
bread maker.
Was crazy. I used to make 3 kilos of bread every week. That was my class. Like every class had to produce 2 recipes, half a kilo each, so 1 kilo. And when after, like, you end up with a lot of bread in your house. And I was one of the only one who was only studying bread making.
Yeah, so you had all the bread.
No, like I was okay with having a lot of bread, but for example, I had friends that were studying chef, pastry, and bread. So they had like a lot of chicken, a lot of cake, and a lot of bread. And bread was always the last class. And they were like, I cannot have more food. So they were almost throwing them out. And I was like, there's no way you can throw out food.
Yeah.
Fresh to the trash can. Like, for me, that was like an insult, waste, and like bad for humanity. So I took all the bread. And I used to go to my house like with 20 pounds of bread, like my backpack full and my two big reusable bags full. And then I started give them like in the street. I see people going to my house. I live an hour away from the university.
And you went every day?
Every day.
2 hours, 1 hour there, 1 hour back.
And not only that, I had to skateboard 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's say from my house to the university, it was skateboarding 20 minutes to the first bus stop
Yeah.
for one bus and a lot of traffic jam. So I avoided traffic jam and skateboard.
Yeah.
And then I took a bus through the circunvalación, which surrounded the city. And then I took another skateboard trip for 10 minutes. So yeah, 30 minutes skateboarding, 30 minutes bus ride. I made it to college. At least it was 3 times a week, so
Yeah.
it was not that bad. It was not every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at least that.
No, exactly. Because I was like, wait a minute, if you're going there 5 to 7 days a week and you're doing this trip, this is insane.
No,
And you're coming home with 30 pounds of bread.
yeah,
But give
and
me an idea though. What is like you're making 3 kilos sound like it's a lot of bread. Like what is that equal to?
okay, 1 kilo or like 1 pound. Let's say 1 pound. I used to 4 loaves of bread to my house every day.
Every day.
Not every day, three times a week. 4.
Gotcha.
So 12 loaves
the
of
week.
bread throughout the week.
Yeah.
And my roommate's friend, they were happy to come home because every time any person come to my house, the first thing after saying, "Hey, what's up?" I was like, "Do you want some bread?"
Yeah.
And also, one of the things that I had to even stop. There were times that the recipe I couldn't take. Sometimes the bread needed to be shaped in special ways.
Yeah.
And there were scraps of the dough. I used to take all the scraps as well, like raw dough.
Yeah.
And then I'll bake them in my house.
You're just
But
like
I had to stop doing that because on my free days I was just baking and not living.
yeah, you're just going insane on baking. So
Yeah.
but that's interesting because for some reason, I thought that you maybe went to university, came up with the recipe for the pita chips, and then that was it. So you guys started the business together. Your dad had the idea for the recipe, and then you went to just sharpen your skills because of this opportunity of becoming a professional baker.
No, so the idea was more like, okay, I'm gonna be the one in charge of producing the pita chips.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be the one who knows how to make the most out of it or even make it better.
Gotcha. So it's
As
like a
soon as I
business
can.
strategy thing.
Exactly. And even from there, my dad were having some issues with, let's say, ingredients that didn't show up. And the recipe needed to be changed from one flour to the other. And they were like, oh, but it's not the same. Like, oh, just simple stuff like just put a little bit of less water now.
Yeah.
And you see you get what are you looking for. Because when you know what you're doing, it's easy. When you don't know what you're doing,
It's hard.
it's hard. You need to like test, fail, and then like, oh, now I got it.
So if you wouldn't have been in the business then, would you have studied something else? Like were you thinking to be a doctor? Were you thinking to be a lawyer? Were you thinking any of these things or how did that sort of pan out? Like did you ever plan to be baking breads? Did you even like baking bread? For example.
First, definitely not a lawyer. And definitely not a doctor either. But it's not that I dislike doctors.
Yeah.
They're good people. Lawyers, they can take care. And let's say, well, I tried to study tourism and administration.
Okay.
And when I say I tried, I spent 8 months in Santo Domingo, studying tourism. But it's not that I dislike the career. I definitely like tourism, but in that moment, definitely I was in the wrong place in the wrong time. In a sense, for example, that was 2012. So in 2012, I was kind of the boss or this like part of the boss group of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And they were with my big brother in Cabarete, the best beach town in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So let's say from being the boss, living in Cabarete, working in the restaurant, and moving to Santo Domingo to live with my grandparents and living with my grandparents and then working in a surf shop. Yeah, that was not good change.
Yeah, it's
Not at
not
all.
ideal.
No, like it was a bad decision. Maybe if I studied in Puerto Plata, but I didn't like the idea. This is ironic, but I didn't like the idea of taking a carrito from Cabarete to Puerto Plata, 45 minutes.
Yeah. When you were
I could
taking
do
1
it in
hour
Argentina, but
in
not in Puerto
Argentina.
Plata.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
No, that's
Well, it's
always
not my
the
fault that in
that's the funny thing is that especially I see it with myself now with even people from let's say Cabaret or anything like that. When we hear of something that's 10 minutes away, this is like a lifetime. This is like people don't even move for 10 minutes away. They're like, nah, I'd rather not. I'll do it next week or something. And when we go to Europe, when we go to States, when we go to any other part in the world, like a 10-minute trip is like, that's quick. That's right there. They're like, even an hour, that's quick. They're like, it takes an hour to get there. It's no big deal. I'm like, yo, even if the waves are good, 1 hour away, it's a debate. They're like, I'd rather just surf here instead. I'd rather I'll take what I can get here. But people are used to this driving 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just to go do something. But yeah, no, that's definitely not uncommon to say 45-minute Corrido. Nah, no thanks.
Yeah. So yeah. If I was not in the business of Kikaboni, and I would have done tourism. And now being in Kikaboni, I could say I wish I would have known industrial engineering. Besides only bread making, because for example, part of my job is like optimizing the production.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn that in school. I'm learning while I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
Takes a bit longer.
It takes a bit longer. It costs a lot of effort. And something cool that I learned is that when you're a kid, your mistakes or your bad behavior, it will cost you time, grounded.
Yeah.
You misbehave, you get grounded when you're a kid. And when you're a kid, it only will cost you time and a little sacrifice. When you're grown up, you make a mistake, it costs you money. Big time. So you better know what you're doing.
So then what are you saying with that? Like, are you saying you're a grown up now? And are you also saying that why does that come to mind? Why does that come to mind that when you're a kid or you're younger, your mistakes cost you less than they do now? What makes you say that?
Okay, first, because it's true. And second, we were talking about if I was not in the business, what career I would have taken, and I change it up. I am in the business while other career I would have taken. You know, like I would have, let's say if I would have been an industrial engineer right now,
Yeah.
my job will be a lot easier.
Yeah.
My job will be a lot easier.
So are you
Like I
having,
know how to make bread. I know how to make pita chips. I know how to set up a production line, but it costs me a lot more effort than an industrial engineer will have, because they have all this basic knowledge and steps and method that for them to calculate how much output a machine and how many people it will need and how much cost it will take for an hour, this and that, for an industrial engineer or business administration, maybe they will make it a lot easier. For me, it's a little headache.
have you ever consulted, let's say, a guy who's studying that, or a guy who just did like a 4-year degree or whatever, a basic degree in any of those fields? Have you ever actually tested their knowledge? Like, do they actually know what you think they know, or are you just assuming that they know and they learned that? Like, if you were to throw them
Okay.
into your factory right now, you're like, hey, make this better. Would they actually know more than what you could know, or would they not?
No, if they know about food and about production line, yeah, they could help me out. For example, believe his name is Richard. You know Richard from Canada, Cabarete, that goes kiting.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice guy, brown hair. Yeah, I know you know him.
Okay.
But for example, his job is making machines for my industry.
Okay.
So he's an industrial engineer and industrial design. So he designed machines and control production process.
Yeah.
And especially for baking business.
Okay.
So for example, I could tell him, this is my product, and he'll tell me how much you want to produce in a day.
Yeah.
Oh, you need this machine, it will cost you this, it will cost you that. How much do you sell it for? Oh, $10, $3, $2. Oh, in this amount of time, blah, 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 you'll pay this machine and you'll be making money in 2 years. The machine will be paid and you produce this much every day, easily, piece of cake. But it's all right, I'm still young, still learning, not giving up. And cool thing about this, I learn something every day and keep
Well, that's
going.
one thing. Like, actually, we're talking right now in a sense that people know what you're sort of what you do. So right now you're still running the company, the production side of the company, and you're still producing, managing a team of, I'm not sure how many people right now, but so you're still working in this.
Okay, right now I manage a team of only 5 people.
Okay.
We manage a little bit slow because of the pandemic and stuff, but I could have managed a team for 18 people from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So, and let's say if I get a big order, I need to quickly like calculate how many people I will need and in how much time I would
Be able to deliver that.
can produce it.
Yeah.
But for example, honestly, I'm very good at making those calculations for pita chips. If I need to create a new product, let's say croissants,
Yeah.
I will need to do, probably it's normal in that industry, but let's say probably I'll need to do a lot of croissants and test a small batch, then a medium batch, and then a large batch, and keep measuring every point, every process. So then I can say, okay, to produce 10,000 croissants, I will need 5 days and these amounts of employees, and it will be like this and will be like that. And for example, in my personal case, if you will invest money on me, I will need to do the big batch to promise you I can handle the big batch. And be certain that I can produce it and it will go well. And I'll even need to do 3 big batches to
be really
sure. First one, to do the first big batch, make 3 mistakes, fix them, do the second big batch, make 1 mistake different than the other 3, and then on the third one, hopefully, okay, I manage the production system. Now I know I can make 1,000 croissants in a day or 5 hours of production. And okay, you need 10,000, I'll need 50 hours of production, 10 days. Probably as an engineer could do a small batch and be like more precise on those calculations.
He wouldn't need to do like the
more confident and more confident about the results. Me, I'm more about like, I'll give you the results and then I'm confident.
No, that's more like that's from the doer mentality, right? Like you do it and then you know it and you believe it. There's other people that are more like theoretical. They're like, in theory, this is gonna work, and they build up models and all this type of stuff, which is a good thing. But then also we see that sometimes those models don't calculate certain things. It's hard to calculate everything into a model because anything can happen.
For example, now I'm creating new products, and hey, this is the way I need to find out how it works, and I need to, for example, I'm making a new product and it bakes differently than the pita chips because it's a totally different product. And I found out that my oven, which fits like 2 carts of 40 trays.
Okay.
So
it's a lot.
I don't know how to. So 80 trays, right?
Yeah.
And normally I fill with 80 trays of pita chips. But the type of baking and recipe that the pita chips are, they bake perfectly.
Yeah.
And they bake for a long time, so it's not so precisely, the needs are not so precise. So now I'm baking, let's say, cookies.
Yeah.
And for a short amount of time, certain temperature, and I found out that if I put 80 trays,
it doesn't bake evenly.
10 will be ready. 10 will be ready in 8 minutes, 9 in 10, and the rest will not be ready. So what do I do now? I need to fix the oven. And how do I do it? Like I need to figure that all out. So many things that I would like to know and still need to know.
So this sort of spurred off because you went very technical. This sort of spurred off of the fact that if things didn't play out the way they would have played out, you're not sure if you would have been in this current line of business specifically. But now since you are in this business, I'm not sure if it's 10 years later now. No, 7 years later 10 years later from Cabarete, but 7 years from the inception of the company, Kikaboni. So now you're saying in hindsight, what would have benefited if you would have known you would have gone down this route is maybe a few more things from formal schooling, formal education, or extra education that would have actually helped you, like benefited you in this current venture.
But something to be clear.
Yeah.
Of course, it would have helped me that I'll be an engineer.
Yeah, exactly.
But probably if in 2010, when I finished school, let's say I decided to study engineering,
I already know where you're
probably
going
I
with this.
wouldn't be working. I probably wouldn't be working in Kikaboni.
I completely
Who knows?
understand that the
So,
picture I drew was not the right picture, in the sense
um,
obviously if you would have done different things might have been different, hence the different things
yeah,
and the different outcome. But what I am
of
saying
course.
is that now that you're in it, now that you're doing it,
Mhm.
you're like, these things potentially, like, you're like, crap, I wish I would have known this, or I wish I knew this right now,
Oh,
just to.
but for example, let's say something.
Yeah.
Let's say if this talk, somebody is listening to it and they want my advice about creating a business and going or being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
I strongly suggest that they acquire experience first working for another company. First, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in their
Field of
college
choice.
career, like
Yeah.
field of choice, but it will definitely help to be an employee for a certain amount of time in a business and learning how business works before you start your own business.
Yeah.
And this goes also especially for the people who wants to start a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Hey, a lot of, and that's an advice that um
Chef
like
Ramsay.
chef schools or cooking schools will give you.
Yeah.
Like you're not a chef because you went and studied cooking and went to chef school.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a chef. A chef, you're made by going to the kitchen and working 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
every fucking day, and getting sweat and burn, and starting peeling potatoes and cleaning the garbage and cleaning the kitchen and the dirty stoves and the oven and a lot of grease everywhere, having no tips. Then you become the chef of the restaurant. So, in my experience, you definitely need to, if you want to start a business, you're young, chill for a moment, get a job, learn how to be disciplined in your job.
Yeah.
You can be the best in your job. That's a good advice. Be the best.
That's
And and then when you're sure how things are done, not everything, you don't need to wait to know everything. But
you'll
when
never
you're
know
sure,
everything. Yeah.
of course, when you're sure how things work, at least the basic, then you can start your own business.
Try to start your own
And
business.
with more experience, and with experience, it will be not always easy, but it will be easier if you start with no experience at all.
Yeah. And I think that's like
Because I started young. Like I started being 21, being the boss of people that were 30.
Yeah.
So I had like from not having a boss to being the boss and being responsible of people 30, like 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
They honestly sometimes fooled me. And I was just a kid. And I was like, okay, I forgive you. Mistake number two, I forgive them too much. Like, oh
Dad,
yeah,
he
it
told
was
me he needed
raining.
help.
Yeah. Oh, it was raining. Sorry. You're late because it was raining. Okay, no problem.
All good.
All good. You're hangover. No, it's okay. I understand. I was hungover one day. No, man, you're hangover, you're late 3 times in a day. Boom, fire. Give me a new one. No joke. Because
I,
other people are watching.
yeah, yeah. I'm laughing about this because, you and I, we have a little bit of context behind that, but some people might not have the context. Like, they might be like, wow, this guy's an asshole. Because what is he saying? That someone shows up late because it was raining or drunk or whatever it is. Oh, 3 times he's fired. What the hell is this type of stuff? Who do they think they are? But I like elaborate on that. Why do you say those things? What is the because I know what you're saying, right? And one thing to comment before, just keep
Okay.
this thought in your head of what we're talking about right now, but just take one step back. You mentioned like
Mhm.
instead of going out when you're 18 and starting a business, maybe going to school, maybe going to get some experience in a company, just so you get disciplined. That's a key word that you used, right? So you build up the right work habits, because work habits are a lot different than school habits. And even what you said with the chef thing is like, it's one thing to perfect a meal in a controlled environment. It's another thing to have a perfect meal in a chaotic environment, such as an active kitchen in a busy restaurant, that you're pumping out dish after dish after dish after dish. So like the theory and the practice is a little bit different. So what you're saying is like, go get a job, go to school, and then give it some time, let yourself like cool down and simmer and mature a little bit, ripen, and then go out and potentially maybe be an intrapreneur inside a company, or be an entrepreneur and start your own company. Either one
Mhm.
are good options. But one thing that is key in a way that sort of sums that up is like, to be a good employer is to be a good employee. You need to know what a good employee is to manage one, right? You can't just
Yeah.
do that out of thin air in a way. So then with what you're saying, that you're 21 managing people that were older than you, maybe some people the same age as you, maybe people that worked in your own family, people that people that are your family, and people that are also just complete strangers. What are some of the truths that you're saying there? Because you're like, truth number two, don't be so flexible. But what are some of the truths there? And why does it matter? Why should you not be flexible, for example?
Okay. So first thing, let's talk about the rain and
Right.
Dominican culture.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Dominican and I love Dominican people and stuff, but it's very common that in Dominican Republic, because it was raining, they are allowed to get to work late. I don't know any other world, no other place in the world which that's a fair excuse. And I had to literally tell my employees they have their own motorcycle and say like, I know that you are in a moto and
Yeah.
that it's raining and you're gonna get wet going to work. And I gave them an easy solution. We live close to the beach, so they get wet in the beach, they can get wet in the motor.
Yeah.
So I told them, dude, you put your uniform in a plastic bag and then a towel in another plastic bag, and then your shoes in another plastic bag. And those 3 bags, you put them in your backpack, and you come with a board short and a sandal, a little shirt, and you drive your motor wet. And you get to work. You need to be here by 7. If not, you're gonna be like the production is gonna be late.
Yeah.
It's just rain. Yeah. And typical thing we say they're made of sugar. Oh, you get wet, you die. It's not true.
Yeah.
So um, come to work even though it's raining. When you get to work, you take all your clothes from the plastic bag, dry. You dry yourself out. Boom, ready to work. You can shower if you like as well. So those are the first thing. And for in my um, personal case, while directing those employees, what happened was that, so in production, if you're counting with 5 people,
Yeah.
and one of them is missing, so you have 4 people working, like 125% to substitute the one that is missing.
Yeah.
To try to finish on time. And this guy is always arrive 1 hour late, and you forgive him, say like, oh, I understand, you live far away, for example, which was a real thing. Like he lived far away and he couldn't get to work on time because he lived far away.
Yeah.
But I know it's not true because he can be there early, he can be there on time, though he came late, little black eyes or closed eyes, oh, I'm late, I'm sorry. You know, didn't say much. All right, no problem. And then if I forgive him 3, 5, 10 times, and another one is late, I need to forgive him too. And that becomes a culture of your company. That it's okay to arrive late. And it's affecting your results. Like it's affecting your flow, your job, your output. So in my company, that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
And
is that only in yours, or is that in any company? Like, what do you mean? Like, should people not show up late to them working at the White House, or them working at the supermarket, or them working at the train station? Does it matter?
It will depend. Let's say, for example, a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, it will always affect, because it's a matter of culture and morale for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But for example, let's say a store where you sell clothes and it opens at 9, and you have for 3 months in a row that the store, the first sale, first client, whoever walked in for 3 months in a row, arrives at 11, 2 hours after they open.
Yeah.
One day that the employee arrives at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world. And probably it's only a job for 2 employees. And even they can coordinate themselves. Hey, Charlie, I know I should be there with you at 9 o'clock and help you clean, but either the waves are good, or my mom is sick, or I haven't cooked lunch. I'll be late. I'll be there at 10. No problem. If a customer comes, you can handle it. If a customer comes, I can handle it. But
so what you're saying though is, like, depending on the job, you're saying it's okay to maybe be late. So it shouldn't be like a rule of thumb, like never be late. Like, as you as a person, like, try to never be late. Try to never make excuses.
No, if it's my person, I try to never be late. I was late to your call, and I felt a little bit bad.
No, but yeah, it's funny. But that's the thing. Like, things do happen. You do have to calculate for that, and you do have to go with the flow. Like, I guess that is maybe the yin yang behind this, right? Is like, we're not perfect, but also we can't not be perfect, right? Like, we have to try to find that balance of the being imperfectly perfect type thing.
No, everybody, of course, everybody has the right to have a mistake and be late and blah, blah. Yeah. And it's all about...
You're forgiven, by the way. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
1 strike.
All right. And it's all about also the company culture.
Yeah.
Like, you're the boss, you're the one who sets the rules, and
Yeah.
you're the one who say how flexible they are according to your type of company.
Yeah.
And here in Santo Domingo, I am more strict about the arriving time.
Sure.
And even not even myself are the one that I'm strict. Is my like even my supervisor is the one who tells me, like, hey, this guy is arriving late too many times. If you don't do something, I'm gonna need to do something myself. So please do something. I'm like, okay, I'll handle it, and I'll need to talk to the guy that is late.
Yeah.
Because my supervisor needs to work harder because there's one down, one less.
Yeah.
And dude, it's of course like my type of business. We need to wait 5 in the morning to leave at 6 to get to work 6:30, 7.
Yeah.
And this dude, oh sorry, I'm late. How
Yeah.
cute. No man, you gotta go to work and be on time and be part of the team.
Yeah. So then,
Yeah.
what would you say would be some successful traits or habits or rules of culture that you've seen to be proven like true?
Okay, good one. Uh, there's nothing more true about leading with example.
All right.
Dude, if you want to be respected, you show what you can do and do what you must do and show them how to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely we lead with example. And I tell you by personal experience and personal mistakes. So in my professional career, I have two stages. Let's say working in Cabarete and working in Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
Working in Cabarete, I kind of assumed the role of being the boss after my father,
Yep.
who was originally the boss of production, especially because I was studying, and then I moved to Argentina, and he was the boss in production.
Yeah.
Then I assumed production and being the boss, and I had a supervisor and employees that were trained, and if there were new ones, I trained them, but not always I worked with them.
Okay.
So I honestly was the type of boss who show up to work. I prepare what I needed to do, like the recipes, and they basically handle the rest of production.
Yeah.
I was always there to taste the pita chips, like quality control. That's
Yeah.
a job I never missed. But cutting the pita chips and like making it be ready on time,
Yeah.
no, that depends on them. My
Okay.
type. And when I tell them, for example, hurry up, they didn't listen. When I tell them shut up and work faster, they didn't listen.
Yeah.
Not always. It was very hard for me for them to respect me as like the control of the pace and the control of the outcome, and like sometimes I struggle with that. Like, come on, hurry up, do this, do that, boom, 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 boom.
And are you saying though this is a good thing or this is a bad thing? Because in a way, right? Let's say the president of any country, right?
Mhm.
You don't actually see him building the roads. There's other people building the roads. He might have said, "Hey, build the roads," but he's not there
Mhm.
putting asphalt on the street. So, are you saying like that's because you're saying lead by example, right? So, what if you can't lead by example because, for example, you're locked up in some other kitchen coming up with new recipes and they can't see you chopping chips. So like, Arturo owns the company, or he's one of the owners or one of the founders. He's
Mhm.
not chopping the chips right now. He might have in the beginning, but he's not right
Mhm.
now. And he's who knows where. They don't know what you're
Mhm.
doing because you're doing whatever you got to do. But let's
Mhm.
say you're making recipes, and then you come by the production and you're like, hey guys, like you could be chopping faster, and maybe you shouldn't be talking with each other because it's slowing you
Mhm.
down. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like this guy just came from who God knows where,
Mhm.
and he's telling us what to do. Pff, get out of here, you know, like screw this
Okay.
dude. So then how, as an employee, do you thrive and push forward, and how as the owner do you push the company forward, but sometimes you can't be leading by example? So what does that actually mean? Like, so how do you create the illusion of leading by example if you can't be there by example? Like, how did you overcome that, or did you not overcome that yet, or is that a problem that's always going to be around?
Okay. Okay. Definitely good question. And like I'll
I'm
tell
not
you,
saying if you know the answer or not. I'm just trying to figure it out,
no,
because that's a
like
problem everywhere, right? Like sometimes people are like, yo, where's the
no,
where's the guy?
I know I have perfect answer for that. There are two
Okay.
things. There are two
Okay.
things.
Oh, it's only two. Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes of this one right here. Tell me.
Okay.
Number one.
First is the way how you communicate things
Okay.
when you tell them to move faster.
Communication is key.
Communication is key.
All right.
Second, once you cannot lead by example, you need to make sure that the one you delegate knows how to lead by example.
Oh, okay. Okay. That genius. Genius. You're talking like John Maxwell right now. Like
Dude, and
multiplying effect. You're just creating other leaders to lead, and it's just a chain of leaders.
that's how it is.
Leaders
And
lead leaders, and leaders create leaders.
exactly. 2 + 2 is 4. Simple as that.
Goddamn. If only, can we not tell every president in the whole world, like this is the formula? 2 + 2 = 4, guys. Do you not see it? It's clear.
Yeah, yeah. If you multiply, it's even better.
So then okay, because you're saying communication is key and leaders create leaders. So sometimes leaders, it's hard to create other leaders, right? Because
Yeah.
also what I can see is that when you have this hierarchy, people are always against the hierarchies, right? They're always like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, why am I number 2 and I'm number 3 and I'm number, like, they don't like that. You know, everyone wants to be number 1.
Mhm.
And people have a hard time being number 2. People have a hard time being number 3. And it goes down the list. Even though 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 might all be billionaires,
Mhm.
right? But they just don't like it. They're like, nah, I gotta be number 1, right? Even though they're all doing really good. So what happens when the communication is great, but it's not real, in the sense that they're like, keep doing a good job because you're worth it, or
Mhm.
you're valuable, you know? And you keep hearing this, and like the first time you hear the president of the company come up to you and says, hey man, I know you're new here and I was where you are once, and I just want you to know that you're valuable and you're on the right track. And then the guy hears that and he's like, wow, he just gets filled up with warmth and he's so happy. He's like, man, like I only saw photos of him in the pamphlet of the company, and now he told me to my face with his own words that I'm valuable. And then that message sticks with him. And then the next thing you know, he's like, hey guys, remember to work hard. And then all of a sudden the leader, they figure out that the leader is in Ibiza partying. They see him whatever, doing whatever it might be. How then do you what happens there? You know, like people lose faith. So how do people stay motivated even though the leader might be doing that, but the company might be a great company, or the country might be a great country? How do you as an individual decide, like, I should continue to be part of this, I should continue to support this?
Let's
Or do you think
say
eventually that sort of ecosystem will crumble? Like there's no way to save it?
No, it's very important to keep constant communication and constant motivation to your employees.
But what if the motivation is fake? You know, it's like you're all gonna make it one day, and then they're like there 5 years later. They're like we're still here.
Then you're
And he's
doing
like, a day is just 10 years, guys. You're just 5 years in.
then you're doing the wrong thing. Like, I try to be as honest as possible.
So tell me, what's some honesty? What is some truth?
I could tell them, hey, if we are not producing this amount of pitch tips and those boxes are not going out, you're not gonna get a raise. I don't care how many years you got here. This is business, and I need to sell this and do more.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but this is how it is. Unfortunately, you cannot say all the truth. You can say part of the truth.
So that's what I'm getting to. So you're saying, like, we sort of, unfortunately, what you're saying is that you can't say, like, I always think the truth is the best policy, but one thing that I realized is, like, it's not about not lying, but it's also about not saying the full truth. Because you're like, if you say it like it is, some people just don't understand it. They don't get it.
Yeah.
So it's better to just like leave it there.
I can tell you how I make my pitches, and I'll miss a detail, and that's the secret one. And I'm not lying to you. And you'll go and you'll make a good pita chip, but you're not gonna make my exact pita chip because I'm leaving out one detail that for me is business, and for you it will be motivation to keep thinking how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, part of the thing is that in the ladder, let's say, of economy, like I'm giving them a job, which is giving them a life.
Yeah.
And if that job in the initial will be enough to give them a good life, I pay them good, then that should be a motivator enough. And it's all about time. Like one day my company will be bigger, and if they stick to it, they could be in the higher chain of the company. Instead of being just an operator, they could be a supervisor.
Yeah.
Besides a supervisor, they can be a manager, and then an analyst, and blah blah blah. Yeah, I will take 10 years to make them to not 10 years to another level, but 10 years to 2 levels up or 3 levels up.
Yeah.
It takes me 10 years to make profit. Why you're complaining? You're making more money. If we go to money, you're making more money than I do.
Yeah.
Because you're getting paid every 15 and 30. I'm still paying.
So then what are you saying with that? Like, would you rather make 50,000 on your own sweat, like your own efforts and your own business, or make 49 without the risk of having to put up your own?
In my personal case, that depends on what I'm working for.
Or we could even go 50-50, right? Like the same both ways. Like, would you rather have to risk it to make the 50, or would you rather get the 50 guaranteed and be part of a conglomerate?
No, for me, like, that depends on the type of business or work that I'm doing.
Let's say you own your own bakery, one, and then the other one is that you're the head baker at a production.
No, I'll take the risk.
Take the risk?
Yeah. If it's just pure like that, like, I personally will take the risk. I wouldn't complain, but there's a thing, like, I'll take the risk, but the bigger the risk, the bigger the pay. I'm getting 50 now, but if I
Okay, so you're twisting it like it might it can go up.
of course,
Okay, okay.
that's a part of the risk.
Okay.
Big risk,
Okay.
big rewards. That's
There
how it is.
I saw a photo that was saying entrepreneurs work 18 hours a day so they don't have to work 8.
Yeah, dude, I work my ass off, man. Like, and literally, I'm 28, and the struggles that I gone through, I don't recommend it to anyone at this age.
Yeah.
And if they're older, I imagine they can handle it. But when I was younger, dude, the sacrifices and the struggles and the pressure that I gone through, they're not piece of cake, bro. Like, not piece of cake.
So what type of sacrifices, one, and what type of pressures, two, uh could you say that no one should do between the ages of 18 and 28? Like, what are you not recommending people to do?
Sacrifices.
So what did you sacrifice now that you're like, I can't get that back? And
Um,
that if you would have taken it, life would have been different for the better or for the worse.
let's say, for example,
Yeah.
since not 21, let's say 21 as an example, but it could be 19. But since I'm 21, I'm committed for the support of my whole family.
Yeah.
It's if I don't work, my family doesn't eat.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and it's also comes a pressure.
Gotcha.
It's not the natural way of being 21. It could be natural of being 21, and if
Yeah.
you don't work, you don't eat, or you don't you
Progress.
don't get you don't progress, or you personally don't um, enjoy life, or you won't get to have a nice dinner, or you won't get to live a good life. So since I was 21, it was part of my job to work so my whole family, move forward.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad, my brother, my little brother, all of us not only depend on me, but I was part of the group
Yeah.
they were counting with. So yeah, it's not easy.
So do you look at that?
And
So two things on that then. Do you hold that on your shoulder whenever anyone says anything? Like you're like, man, you don't know. Like is that like a thought that's in your head, whether it's to an individual or to someone that works in the company or to whatever? Like is that like a chip on your shoulder sort of thing? Like you're like, man, like you had it easy compared to me. Like you don't know. Or is it like you don't care? You're like, it is what it is. It passed. C'est la vie. Like you just now looking back on it, you're
no,
like, I don't think this is the best way to go about it for anyone. It is how
okay.
I went about it, but it is not the recommended path.
First, I cannot say you don't know if I don't. I cannot say like, oh, you don't know how hard it is
Be-
unless I know what is going on in his life of that person in that case.
yeah,
I cannot tell you, Charles, you don't know how hard it is, what I gone through,
yeah.
and
But you'll also
then
never know, right? On
uh-huh,
anybody, because you
on
only know
anybody.
whatever you see and whatever you hear. Like you don't know every waking second.
So I could be on the chip like, you must know that I have worked a lot for this. And I'm here because I work for 7 years in a row, work my ass off, and I'm still working. And
Yeah,
I'm here because I believe in this. Like I'm still working in Kikaboni because I believe in the product. I
yeah,
believe that I have a good product, a healthy product, and one that if you consume it, it will do good for you.
yeah,
So um, the sacrifices that I have, I don't do it as a motivator or stuff. And let's go to the pressure that I gone through
Yeah.
when I was younger. For example, one time I had a big order
Sure.
to fulfill. Was November, stuff like that, and I had to fulfill my orders. And I only have one big oven. In Cabareta, I only have one big oven of 40 trays and a small oven of 5 trays. So one that takes 8 times the capacity of the smaller one. The smaller one, I only do it for testings. And my big oven broke. My employees were like, "Oh, you need to fix it. It's not smelling good. It seems dangerous to work here. You need to fix this." And I'm like, "Shit, yeah, I know I need to fix it, and I'm gonna fulfill this." And like, for example, in that case specifically, they were complaining to me that they even threatened me that they will stop working if I didn't fix the oven.
Yeah.
They didn't know that I was looking for the piece in that oven. So it broke down in 2015.
Yeah.
That oven was made in 1999.
Oh yeah.
Do you think the pieces are laying around there? They're not, they don't fucking exist anymore. Not even the company. So I was like, I'm working on it. You don't see me, but I'm working on it. I'm like Googling.
Yeah,
everywhere.
you don't see emails in real life, like unless I print them for you.
So, dude, I have to suspend them without payments, like without paying them for 2 months. And then they were like, "Oh, now I want to work." I said I didn't want to work, but now I want to work. And like, no, you said that you were not gonna work. Now you're not working.
So the oven was off for 2 months, though. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, the oven was for 2 months, and cost me $2,000 to fix it, which in the moment I didn't have. And
you're a startup.
And instead of producing in a day 15 boxes from 7 to 4, 7 to 5, 15 boxes, I had to work from 7 to 10 to produce 6 boxes. 4 boxes.
So, but you managed to fulfill that order. So you worked it all yourself?
No. So I had, instead of 7 employees that I had that moment, or 6, I had 3. And those 3 employees worked from 7 to 4.
Yeah.
And then I worked myself from 4 to 10 in the small oven. So their job was to process the dough, make the first bake, and cut the pita chips in half, and then organize them again. And then my job was to finish baking. And the baking process took 30 minutes every 5 trays. So when I get at 4, I had to bake from 4 to 9:30. I don't know how many trays. And then package them. It was an easy job, but it was
by yourself, the packaging and everything.
Yeah, I could handle it. 5 trays at a time. I could handle it by myself.
What did you do to like entertain yourself at those times?
Listen to music, work. I honestly don't have the capability of listening to Audible and books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
you just did it.
I just did it. I worked.
No, and that's one thing, you know, like throughout this whole talk that we still like that we didn't really touch up on. Like, me, I've known you for X amount of, I guess, years now. If Kikaboni started 2013, then we must have touched faces at some point in time in the younger days. But
Good. How old are you?
I'm 26.
I know you since you were 13.
Really?
Yeah, like I know who you were since you were 13.
How's that specific?
I know you when you start partying.
Oh, okay.
And you were in the party role. I know you since
since we're sitting at Chichigua, all of us.
Yeah, and I know your party life, and like not even when I lived in Santo Domingo. Like exactly, I know you since I lived in Santo Domingo.
Oh wow, the word travels far.
So yeah, got a long history.
So we've known each other for a long time. But one thing that I've always noticed is that you, like you said in the beginning, always hustling. Like, just getting it done one way or another. I'm like when you started the banana bread gig, right, on the side or during at the same time. I just remember seeing you walk up with a box and you're like, "Hey, do you want banana bread?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" You have like, and then you have the box with however many fit in there, 24 banana breads, I think it was, or something like that. Or
so I had in my moto, I had a plastic container which I could fit around 16.
So, 16. I thought in the Kikaboni box you had, I don't know why I had 24 in my head. Which I guess just an even number.
Because 24, you have a good number. 24 is the amount of bread that my oven could handle in one bake. Okay. That's the amount of trays that I had.
24.
Break pans, yeah.
Okay.
And so in Cabarete, I had on the side, besides Kikaboni, I had the banana bread business, which for me, something for people to know, working for Kikaboni, not necessarily I get paid.
Yeah.
I get paid every once in a while. If there was money, they give me a little bit. But for me to have a life and enjoy, I used to, as a side business, sell banana bread. And I sold them every Friday to create the demand. And I baked always 24 breads. I have my recipe, boom, 24 breads. I know how many bananas I need to buy, how many chocolate, how many flour, how many eggs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used to finish work on Fridays and I park at your place and I went selling bread on the beach. It was fun.
Straight up killing it.
Yeah.
No, because I just remember, and then you wouldn't leave until you sold all of them. Essentially, unless it got like really late. But you always managed, I think, to pretty much sell them all every single time.
Sometimes, so the way it worked, it was like this. In Cabarete, there's a group that is called Everything Cabarete. I think you're the creator or manager.
Not create. Someone, I don't know, I forgot who created it, but somebody who's not around created it.
Okay, so it basically includes all the community of Cabarete, and on Friday, I made a nice post about selling bread. I always laugh at it because I do like a cheesy introduction, like hello, hope the surf is going good, hope everybody's surfing, and if they're not surfing, then I got your thing, I got your bread, make your day better, blah blah blah, cheesy like that. And then I explain the ingredients and how healthy it was. It's a healthy version of banana bread, and people ordered there. So I always made 24, and sometimes through Facebook I get 20 orders.
Yeah.
So from Sabaneta to my house in Cabarete, I go whoop and deliver it. Let's say I leave at 5 or 4. By 7, I could deliver all 20. I only need to sell 4 extra. and on the way on the beach, I get to sell them. And then sometimes by 7, they're sold out.
Yeah.
But there were days that I only sell 5 on Facebook. Shit. Now I need to go to the beach.
I need to go hustle.
Now I need to go to strangers and start selling. And I literally go with like a small box of 10, and go from Lazy Dog.
Yeah.
Was open that day, those moments. I used to enter there. The owner knows me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, a couple of friends. Go around and ask." There were a lot of old ladies. I'm like, "Hey, I got banana chocolate bread." Say what? Yeah, banana chocolate bread for sale. Look fresh. And I opened the box and it smells so good, freshly baked. Like, oh, I want one. And I took one, and people from the next table, they were like, "Oh, what is that? Banana chocolate bread. Oh, and you're selling it?" Yeah. And yeah, I had to go
All the
through
time.
all the beach, and I only made 24 because, dude, I was working from Monday to Friday, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. On the weekends, I want to surf and chill.
Yeah.
And that amount allowed me to sell them by Saturday. Sometimes I have to, yeah, sometimes like on Sunday, I still need to go out and delivery, and that broke my relaxing routine.
Broke your flow.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
then, do you have any crazy stories with the banana bread? Like, is there any funny ones that you remember off the top of your head, or is it always just like, it was always like transactional, or was there any like this is like, because you meet a lot of people, I guess, when you're just walking on the beach, selling to people on the beach and stuff.
Well, imagine you being famous by the banana bread guy. Like asking a girl out to dance, and you're dancing, then like, "Oh, but you're the banana bread guy."
Ah, okay, I get you. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that was funny.
So you
Like,
built up a reputation. They knew who you were. They're like, wait, didn't I
yeah,
just see you on the beach selling banana
yeah.
bread? Like,
Oh yeah, or they check me out like, "Oh, who's selling this banana bread?" And they open my profile and blah 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 and check me out, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
I need you to make a special delivery if you can.
No, unfortunately, I tell them like, yeah, like they always tell me like, "Oh, I wanted to buy one." There's always a fake bot there.
Yeah.
But like, no problem. Next Friday you'll get the chance if you want. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, if you want. Nah, Arturo, man. So out of all these things that you've been saying, like you lived in the city, you lived on the beach. So just like a quick off the top of your head, beach versus the city life. Now you've been in the city for a while. So how do you manage it? Like, do you miss the beach life, or now you figured out a way of routine that is convenient?
No, definitely I miss the beach, man.
Oh yeah,
100%. 100%.
there's
Like,
no substitute. You're saying like there's no way to make the city better than the beach life. There's no impossible.
um, there could be a substitute. There is a substitute, but still, in my personal case, it has not yet been fulfilled. So
Interesting. Is
I
that
moved.
substitute? Is that substitute something you can say, or something that's secret? What is the
No,
substitute?
like I moved from. So so people who don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
my company Kikaboni that makes healthy pita chips started in Cabarete, and that's where the production was since 2013. Since I was the manager of production, I used to work and live in Cabarete from 2013 until 2018.
Yeah.
2018, we got a business opportunity to get a new partner, a new investment, and one of the requirements was to move the factory from Cabarete, Sabaneta to Santo Domingo. that will allow us to make better business strategy and business flow. So for the
Yeah.
business was definitely better to work from the city. So I had to move from Cabarete to the city to do the same job. And then basically it's supposed, since I was living in the city, things were going to get more developed and more opportunities should have arisen, and I will have had a super better successful business, which
Okay.
unfortunately right now is not the case. We're still hustling,
Working
we're
towards.
still working toward. But if you tell me, honestly, I could have stayed in Cabarete
Yeah.
and the company would have could have done what I'm doing in
Right now.
Santo Domingo, could have done it in Cabarete.
Sure.
But I'm working for the future.
Yeah.
I'm 28 now, and I'm working for when I'm 40. I'll be more relaxed economy wise.
Yeah.
So
So is that, but you're, because you said there's a factor that makes living in the city more bearable. So is that the factor, the future?
yeah,
Oh, okay. That's the
I'm
factor
here sacrificing for
for
my
the
future.
future. Gotcha.
And then there's nothing in the city that will make it better than living in Cabarete. Dude, in Cabarete, I woke up and from my window, I could see the waves.
Yeah.
From my house, I only listen birds. I can go 5 minutes walking to the beach and to the best surf and go to my work in 10 and 15 minutes. I will never deal with a traffic jam or crazy people on the streets, like super crazy, super traffic jam, and a lot of noise. And my lifestyle of going out is more chill there in Cabarete than here in the city.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's priceless. There's no doubt that's priceless.
Yeah.
And I do have a lovely girlfriend, which makes my life better in the city.
Yeah. The
That's
price is easier to pay.
the price is easier to pay.
It got a little bit cheaper all of a sudden.
Um, cheaper, who knows? But
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
but but definitely it makes better have that partner in life. And but yeah, I'm work like if I had all the money from wherever I got it and I could live in Cabarete, no joke, I would
Blood
live in
diamonds, no
Cabarete.
problem. Just if you got the money from wherever.
Hey, not that much, not that much. Diamonds with other blood. Say
uh,
Larimar.
yeah. Oh, Larimar. I don't know if it's any better. Uh, But I get what you're saying. If you would have some sort of inheritance or things would have worked out differently or whatever it might be, loteca or that loteca tocad you, or how would you say that? Te tocó
Loteca te
loteca?
toca.
Yeah, exactly. If that would have happened, then you say the beach would have been the way.
Sure.
But you don't think like those waves that are like, how far is the closest wave to you now? 30 minutes? 25 minutes? The
So
Boya one?
okay, they're 40 minutes from my place.
That's still not, it doesn't do it for you.
Yeah, but what you're not counting is that if I need to get to work by 10, which is late
Yeah.
in my type of job, let's say by 9, the classic 9 to 5
Yes.
job for anybody, 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
They want to serve in Boya or in Boya especially because in Los Patos it's a different traffic jam. But if you want to go in Boya, which is southeast from Santo Domingo, and you want to arrive by 9 at work, you need to wake up at 4 4:30 to leave your house by 5 or 5:20. So you arrive to the beach by 6. You surf from 6 to 7:30. You need to shower and whatever in the beach. You know, they give you bottles and you do a lot of soap in the beach and you shower and you dress to work and you leave the beach at 8. You're not gonna get to work by 9 easily. You're gonna get to work by 9 with the biggest traffic jam ever.
Yeah.
So
So then
whatever.
how do people make it then in the city? How does a normal entrepreneur, how does a normal CEO, how does a normal even employee make it in the city? Why live in the city? Why then make a little less, live on the beach? Why not?
It's not a little less, it's much less.
But even that much less, right? Like what is, when you calculate it, I'm guessing you already made a calculation in your head. Do those, let's say, if you're surfing all the way up until you're 50 years old, 60 years old, is it worth the same as you working harder and now all you do, instead of having a third row house apartment that you're renting, you have a beachfront house that you're renting, and you only have 5 or 10 years to surf because you got a little bit out of shape, you got a little bit tighter, and now you can't really make it out on the big days. You can't make it out on the, you can only make it out on the small and the medium days. So how do you calculate that? How does that, because I find that we're sometimes sold these like they're very tempting like stories, right? And narratives.
Okay, I'll ask. Let's ask a real question. Let's say I earn $2,000 a month in Santo Domingo.
Okay.
What type of job will pay you $2,000 a month in Cabarete? Can you tell me?
Hotel manager at a bigger hotel.
Okay, how many hotels are in Cabarete?
A handful.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, now $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
In Dominican Republic, it's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what type of people?
Yeah. People without kids. People without.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, you're earning $2,000 a month. I'm good with that. You're good with that.
Sure.
Probably everybody with 25, 28 without kids will be super happy with $2,000 a month in Dominican Republic. Doesn't matter where you are in Dominican Republic. If you're getting that paid and you're not having kids, you're good.
Yeah.
You say in Cabarete, in the beach, only the manager of hotels, maybe another manager of a good business, which are handfuls, 5, 10, could get that amount of money in their paycheck or business, whatever.
Yeah.
But that they're limited. They cannot have a kid. Or if they have a kid, then they will not have a good lifestyle there.
So what's your number then? What number are we going after? What number did you calculate? You're like, I need this to make it happen. There might be someone listening here that's just like, they got the checkbook ready and they're like, just say the number right now. We're gonna
say the number. Just say the number right now.
Yeah, but you can't say something ridiculous. You can't be like $28,583,028.
No. But for example, if I make instead of 2, let's say 6 a month.
Yeah.
I'll be super established to have a family.
So then
with
you know how
$6,000 a month.
So you know how you set up the 6,000 right there. How then does a country, or how then does a person, because the minimum wage for people that, like, let's say the 5 people that are listening up to this point, if they're still listening at this point, the
Mhm.
minimum wage is $180 a month in the country, or 160, right?
And I need to make 6,000.
And you need to make 6,000. So now
Mhm.
you're up in what I'm gonna call God mode of money, because let me just make sure these numbers are right. Yeah, let's just say $200 is the minimum wage, right? So you're 30
Yeah.
times. You're 30xing the minimum,
Mhm.
right? And that makes you say you're living a very comfortable life. Like, we're gonna use the words very comfortable as well, because
Mhm.
it's still close. It's still on the edge. You know, if you put your kid in the best private school and you're living in a good area, that money
Mhm.
goes quick. That money goes
Oh
quick.
no! If the thing is, if I'm earning those 6,000,
He's
probably
at,
I'm the business owner, and I'm getting or I'm getting business bonus,
yeah,
which when that adds up,
it comes
I
out to six.
get it, no
It comes out more.
more.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, like
So then,
I need
so where I'm going with this though is then how is, because a lot of people have kids in this country, young,
more.
even middle age, whatever. They have it throughout the spectrum. There's kids coming out, popping out.
Yeah,
And I would say not many people are earning $6,000 a month.
for sure. No.
Probably a percentage.
I had employees that were
10.
getting paid $200 a month, and
Yeah.
they had a baby.
So then how? So that's what I'm saying. So then, how in your eyes do you see that play out? And are you sort of saying that there's no way to thrive when you're making that much, and when you have to raise a family on that much? Are you saying for them to break through? I'm talking about like a social dilemma right now, in a way, right? I'm not talking about the social dilemma that joke. I'm talking about like a social dilemma of how do you then see people progressing if you're like in your head, you're like, man, I can't even make it. I need 6 minimum. How do these guys make it when they're getting 200 maximum?
So, um,
Fill me in on your theory.
the unfortunate thing that in Dominican Republic, um, let's say with $200 a month, you barely sustain yourself. You can barely sustain yourself, and but that's only one you. And let's say your partner gets another 200. That's 400. 400. Dollar right now is 60. 24
24.
down. 24. That's less than 1,000 pesos a day
Yep. For everything.
for everything. People, $30 a day. How can you raise a kid with $30 a day?
That's not $30 a day, by the way.
Yeah, less. Let's say $900. No, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
24,000 is 400. So you're talking about less than $10 a day, almost $10 to $12 a day.
There's no way you can raise a kid like that.
But they're doing it. So how does that? What comes out of that?
So it comes a kid with bad nutrition, kids that doesn't develop well, a kids that if get sick cannot get sick, it cannot be well attended, and the Dominican Republic doesn't have a public health system that is reliable, doesn't have an education system that is reliable.
But is that right though? Are you saying with the health system that it's not reliable, or is that just I don't even know what I did. My head scratched it. Is that something that you're sure about? Because just a little random thing, we were in Pedernales, which is literally in the middle of, well, not in the middle of
Nowhere.
nowhere, but it's on the outside of
Mhm.
nowhere. and
Mhm.
there was an accident. Many people got into an accident, and the healthcare was actually surprisingly good, and no one got charged. So I don't know what the system was in this hospital, right? It was
Mhm.
it was the only hospital there,
Mhm.
but everything was free.
Mhm.
They got radiographed. They got
Mhm.
um, a check, like they got a report of what they said was broken and stuff like that. And when they compared it to the reference of a private hospital, it was the same
Yeah.
exact thing. So the diagnosis wasn't like bad, right?
Okay.
So what are you saying then with that? Are you saying like, did I just see something, a different reality? Are you saying?
Yeah, that's a situation you're cured one day, but go and get a real sickness and buy the medicine.
Gotcha.
You know, okay, emergency. Yeah, maybe they can attend you.
Yeah. But you're saying like something more critical, like something
And
that's not a broken.
and and maybe you go to that hospital
Yeah.
and they give you an X-ray and they tell you, oh, you have a little fracture.
Yeah.
You don't need a major surgery. You just need to put this and put that, do this and do that, and you're done.
Yeah.
Go ahead and have a major surgery. So with $200 a month, your kid will have one leg down.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So then what would you
And
say is what are you saying then? Like, I guess we're sort of going down this rabbit hole of what would you then say is the basics to then be able to build off of that? Because you're saying like 200 is like not enough to make it, right? Anything goes wrong, you're essentially screwed.
mhm.
So how then can you help make everyone better? Because we can't just be like everyone gets 6,000, right? We can't pull an Oprah and be like you get
Of
6,000, you get
course,
6,000, you get 6,000.
of course not, of course not. It's all about it's a tricky question because
You're running for president right now, so that's why I'm asking you.
no,
What are what is the game plan to to give the best chance to everyone? And even then, it's still not doesn't mean everyone's going to thrive, right? Because no matter just because you lead a camel to water doesn't mean he's going to drink.
okay. So let's say it like this. Um, Depends where you're born and how you were raised. You could define your level of success.
You're saying that's a truth.
Yeah. For some people, having a nice motorcycle, they're successful.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Like the bar is different according to where you are.
Mhm.
Okay.
And where you come from.
But let's say you knowing what you know that just because you have this motorcycle, deep down, that person might be fulfilled, right? He's like, I made it. I'm
Probably,
crushing it. I'm the best. But
probably.
now you knowing what you know, you're like, that's not what it means to be the best. This is what it means to be the best, right? Now, are you saying like, because would you be able to take that motorcycle guy and be like, hey, man, you could be even more of value to society if you did this, this, and this, and this? Like, are you saying like you should take people out of that, or are you saying it like you're always gonna have these levels of
No,
whatever, so
no,
you just do your thing?
that's very subjective.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wondering.
That's very subjective. Hey, I take big waves, and
Yeah.
I don't judge people who surf small waves
Oh
and are
wow.
happy.
I'm so glad I heard that right now because I thought you're judging me this whole time.
There you go.
I really
There
did.
you go. Like
Yo,
I'm
bring your
not.
gun, Charles. I'm like, no, I don't, man. My
Like
gun's in repair right now. I can't take it out.
I do judge people who talk shit about big waves
Oof.
and then they don't show up when they're big.
Ooh, are
Those
you
are
talking
the
about someone
jobs.
specific right now? What's happening?
There's a big community down south that
Oh,
talks a lot and do little.
ooh.
They're listening.
If
Pick up
they're
my
lit,
friend.
yeah, you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Now it is true. There is some people like like they're just sitting on the shore, like, man, it's not that bad. Go in.
No, I heard people, for example, I have listened people
Yeah,
that when the waves are big, they joke that, oh, this is when everybody is injured. This is when everybody finds out an excuse and don't show up
yeah,
to the waves. I'm
yeah.
like, dude, do you even show up?
I got you. Okay, he's complaining about others, and he didn't even show up.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
same joke. Do you even live?
Oh man. So then, so what are you saying with this? Like, so what are you gonna tell me how we're gonna help society, or there's just no point? Like, let people just live and let live type thing, and then that's it? Are we not all trying to go to Mars together with Elon?
Uh, I'm
Or just staying?
definitely the type of philosophy of live and let live, and everybody try to find their own happiness.
Yeah,
If you wanna dress like a slut in Halloween and a girl in Halloween, and you're a guy, you wanna dress like a girl, have fun.
yeah,
I'm not gonna criticize you, but economy-wise, talking more seriously, um, everybody can have their own personal objective, and as long as they're happy and as long as they're healthy and living their own life
yeah,
and not hurting anyone, then I'm
yeah.
okay.
But
Um,
how are people supposed to have those basics of like being healthy, being educated? That's up to the government, you're saying?
Personal and government. You can go to a public school and be well educated
Sure.
if you want to. Depends on your parents. Unfortunately, it will take a lot of generations for that to change. In Dominican Republic, I think
I
one
think
of
it's
the
around 20 to
main
40 years.
no, I think in Dominican Republic one of the main problem is that the culture of education is still not well established, meaning that from what I see,
Yeah.
let's say, imagine my parents didn't go to school.
Yeah.
And how can my parents force me to go to school if they didn't go and they live not the best life because they didn't go to school when they were young?
Yeah.
They could, and they didn't believe in the school system because they didn't have a school system. And so I didn't go to school. And let's say right now, I'm not here in Santo Domingo. I'm in a little barrio or little ghetto in in Santo Domingo, in a ghetto.
Yeah.
And
Just so
because
you know, you're in a big ghetto in the
I'm in a,
Caribbean.
in a big ghetto,
Just so you know.
yeah, more healthy ghetto. And and I believe that a lot of people didn't have the opportunity of having their parents having education, so their kids didn't have educations. Now the kids are ignorant and
Yeah.
they just don't have the knowledge how to progress. And now education is more accessible, it's more common
Yeah.
for the next generation, for this generation. Even
For what
even
generation are you talking about? What age?
X, Y, Z, I don't know, whatever generation they're talking about now. Born after 2000, those
Ah,
ones.
okay, those guys. I don't know what they
Yeah,
are,
those
but
guys. Exactly.
generation.
X, Y, Z, I don't know. But after 2000,
Yeah.
every kid who doesn't get education because potato, dude, they're missing. Everybody born after the 2000, they need to have a good education, and with education, with knowledge is power. And it depends how much knowledgeable you are, how much you can progress in life. And
Well,
yes, I'm very conscious that it's not the same being born and raised from a poor ecosystem, poor society, to raise to a high society. I'm very conscious and knowledgeable. It's not an easy
an easy
skating,
thing.
easy thing, but it's not impossible to at least be happy. You know?
Yeah. Also, it's Generation Z, by the way.
There you go.
1997 to 2012. And there's this new generation. I didn't even know this is a thing. Generation Alpha, which is interesting that they call it Alpha. Early 2010 to mid 2020s.
There you
So
go.
I wonder why they called it Alpha. Are those going to be our masters in the future?
I don't know.
It might be. But yeah, no, these are like, you know,
Too bad Robertico's not there.
yeah, Roberto, just go crawl back up into the hole real quick and come back out. Yeah, Alpha, interesting. The I know that we sort of took a turn into more deep questions about how to solve a global crisis. And I just thought you'd be one of the guys that know. And you did mention education, you did mention nutrition, and you mentioned knowledge, which is knowledge is power. But one thing that I'm almost wondering about this public school, private school thing is how many of the top business owners in, let's say, net worth, right? Like in financial side, in economic side, and politicians are from the public sector and how many are from the private sector. That'd be interesting to know. I have a feeling that it's majority private sector. Like, you know, they all went to private schools, those guys, like let's say the top business guys and whatnot, and the highest in the politics, they probably all went to private schools and then did a secondary schooling.
Yeah.
Most of them. Which like also comes to show, like, is that always gonna leave that gap? You know, is there always gonna be that gap there? That because you're talking about environment, right? You're talking about environment on the small scale with the moto guy, for example, in his neighborhood, but also on a big scale. Now you could be saying the environment is that you don't get groomed, like they say, the same. So that discrepancy might just always be there because it's there
Yeah.
already, right? So it's just always going to be there.
It
Unless it
is.
gets changed, like unless a guy from the public sector did the public school, did a public university, and became president, and then he's like, I did it.
80 years old.
And he's 80 years old.
after grinding, you
Yeah.
know, like 60 years of his work life, then he
Yeah.
became someone, unfortunately. And
He's
yeah,
like, I did it, so you know what? You can do it. And then
you
that's when
can
the
do
change
it.
happened.
Dude, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. Everything is possible, literally.
Yeah. I do hope it's
It all,
possible.
it all depends on the person who believes in it and works for it.
Do you believe in it? What do you believe in, Arturo?
Hey, if you work for it, you can get it.
That's what you believe in?
Yeah.
What
Depends
else?
how much how bad you want it.
Depends on how bad you want it. No, it's
Of
these
course.
are
I'll tell you an easy example. For example,
yeah,
I can go to Cabarete
yeah,
on Friday
yeah,
and make a post again of my banana bread,
yeah,
and I can make $80, and let's say pay for the gasoline.
yeah,
But I need to work Friday and Saturday, plus make the banana bread on Friday morning. So I'll
yeah,
need to work 10 hours to make $80.
yeah.
Not bad, I really want it, it's all on me. I could even go and sell banana bread on Cabarete. Probably if I can also go and sell banana bread in Puerto Plata and start making a bigger
Route.
change.
Yeah.
Route and here in Santo Domingo as well. How about I want it? Right now, that's not my goal. I'm not working for it. Everything is possible.
So you just have to choose your goal and then be okay with it, because anything is possible in the end. So how then do you not get distracted by, because a lot of people also get distracted by what others say. Does that get into your head, like when other people start throwing ideas, or like when some people like confront your thoughts, like, you know how you're like, I'm living in the city and for the future, and then I come in and I'm like, like beach life and this, and you can do it. And like, does that get into your head, or you just like, I know what I'm doing, I got my plan, like, I guess that's a possibility, but nah.
Like, it could get in my head, but it depends on me if I let it bothers me or change me. You can tell me whatever you want tomorrow. I'll do whatever I need to do.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious, because like there is a lot of people, like I do find that, you know, you stuck to the path, right? You're 7 years into a business, and a lot of people, they just you know, it's like they jump ship or they do whatever it is. And it's like, how do you know when things are too soon or things are too late? And I guess you never really know until it happens.
Well, business why I do can say, um, unless you are expert in the subject, you can give a true opinion about it. In my case, I've heard a lot of opinions
Yeah.
and suggestions from people,
Yeah.
other movie actors, or let's say they're bankers,
Yeah.
or let's say they're a surfer. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a nice idea. But let's go through down the numbers and through down the process, and let's say if it's business or not business.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Yeah, no business. So thank you for your opinion. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Stuff
No, I
like
get what you're saying. That's like sort of taking advice. Like that's also another thing, is like a lot of people take advice from like uncredible sources, right? So
Yeah.
it's like this guy, unless he has some background or some experience or something in that thing, you should almost just discard it as noise. You know, like it shouldn't be something that's considered. But no, I think we did run through like a lot of things. And what would be interesting is to, well, I guess you sort of even said it, but what is the future then looking like for yourself? Where are you going from here? And what lessons have you taken from your youth, where you're still young? So what lessons have you taken so far, and will continue to apply moving forward? And where are we to see you then in the future? And what obstacles do you see for yourself as well in the future?
Oof, man. But okay. Let's say
You're gonna sleep. You're gonna sleep really well tonight, just so you know.
yeah, I'll have good dreams.
You're gonna have a good dream, but also you're just gonna not. You're just gonna lay down, and your head's just gonna boom. Like it's your head might be a little bit heavier than it was this morning.
All right, no problem. And so okay, I'm in the food industry.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I manage 5 employees.
Mhm.
The whole company is run by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 persons. plus the investors, 11. So if I wanna do bigger business, I'll need to have a company that needs to deal with, in a way, let's say more 50 persons. If I work with 50 employees,
Yeah.
I'll have a way bigger operation.
Yeah.
There's a joke in Dominican Republic, 50 employees equals 50 problems.
Yeah.
But besides that, bigger the risk, bigger the reward. So yeah, in the present, working on becoming more knowledgeable in my food industry, learning better about the food processing, food safety, and food operations, management, leadership, and because that's my area. My brother's all in the accounting and finance,
All the fun stuff.
marketing, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just focusing on learning and becoming more prepared to manage a food production, a factory, food factory. And the goal is that I can produce more type of food, the better, or products.
More products. Yeah.
Yeah. And increase the, let's say, the portfolio of products, food products, so I can increase the amount of clients and yeah, work on that. So you can have a better lifestyle.
All right. All right. And one thing that came to mind, because we were talking about like company, government, and all this stuff. You as like a company and as a business owner, how do you see, because now we talked about like the monthly wages in the country and like the hardships that can come about just overall, because like the odds are stacked against you in general. No matter what level you are, it's always going to be difficult, right? How do you see yourself, like, you have a vision for your future, right? Do you expect others to have a vision of the future for themselves, and do you like sort of help it out, or do you just sort of like, we're just here working and let's just do what we got to do, and we all live our own lives? And whether now it might be one way, but in the future, like, maybe I want to be a bit involved in the future outcome of everyone who's part of the team, or you're like, in reality, that's sort of like some hocus pocus, kumbaya stuff. That's not really real.
So let me ask again, like, you asking me if I care about the future of the people around me or
I
the
know for
people
sure.
in general? Like the future of my employees or the future of my friends, or like my friends and my employees, or like the Dominican Republic future?
No, I'm asking a bit like,
Population.
I'm asking about like the future of your team, your employees. And I'm not saying obviously you care, right? I'm not saying that you don't not care. But what I'm saying is like, because you know how the country operates, right? You know the circumstances of this situation we're in.
Ideal case. Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
I get a bit of it. Let's say ideal case. If I could get an employee and tell them, you work for me with 5 years.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I'll liquidate you. Aquí se dan prestaciones.
Yeah.
You know, if you fire somebody, you need to pay them X amount of money.
Yeah.
Liquidate. So in my ideal world, if it was wow, magic wand,
Yeah.
I will get like employees and be like 5 to 10 years, maximum 10 years, and like boom, liquidate and prepare them for when I liquidate them to start their own business, and they become even more successful than being my manager.
I understand. Okay.
That would be ideal.
Because you don't want people to be stuck in the company. You don't see it as like you see it as a good training ground. You see it as a good way to develop skills, get better, but you don't,
And
not for
even
everyone to stay there for 50 years.
and it all depends even if the person wants, because
Yeah.
it could also be, of course, nobody is gonna come. I'm not gonna have, I don't wish that I have, let's say, a janitor for 50 years.
Yeah. You want everyone to grow and develop further because you think everyone could do more.
Of course.
Okay.
I don't wish that on my business. It could happen, but right now it's not what I wish that I have like. And if it's the janitor for 50 years, I'll try that my business is so successful that I can compensate the janitor for being
The
loyal
janitor
to
for
the
50
company.
years. Yeah. I get you.
And cleaning and cleaning the best way possible for 50 years. That's a
Yeah.
lot, but let's say 30 years to talk more realistically.
Yeah.
That could happen. I've been cleaning these hallways for 30 years. Damn, but they're so shiny for 30 years. Here, you got a bonus. You're not going to enjoy your old, but your grandkids will.
Yeah.
I'm fulfilled.
I
Dude,
get you.
I'm working for myself, but I also work for my employees to have a good life. I'm the type of boss that if my employees are not happy, then I'm not so happy.
Yeah.
I'm here to, okay, I want to have my world around me better, but
Yeah.
I want to do good for the world, even if it's a small circle.
Well, that's how it all
And
begins, right? So if everyone takes care of their small circles, then all these circles make up the big circle, and then we're good to go.
that's about it. That's my life. Like, I treat my employees the best way I can. Sometimes that gets me back. They treat me bad, but that's
Yeah.
when they get fired.
I'm not sure if I should laugh at that or not, but
No, true. Hey, dude, it happened to me. A recent case, I can talk. I'm sure he won't listen. If he does, I'll be proud because he learned English. But,
I'm gonna translate this whole video now.
all right. But if this happened to me, this guy had accident in the job.
Okay.
And we as a company, we took care of him 100%.
Yeah.
We told him, dude, I rushed to the hospital, I took him to the emergency, I paid all the bills, I gave him all the medicine, everything. Like
Was it with a knife cutting job?
his hand was smashed into a cylinder, and he
Oh my
damaged
god.
all his tendons in his hands. Like the cylinder that
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
no,
That puts the dough.
yeah, puts the dough, his hands went like that.
Both or one.
No, just one. Yeah, just one. Like
And there's no safety to this. There's no,
no,
like, how does that
no,
happen? Because you put the dough in, and then I guess he pushed it in like this.
no. He was handling the dough like this. He looked this way. The dough went down, and his hands went down. Like, and he was all of a sudden. You
Oh,
know,
I'm laughing, but this is fucked up.
yeah. And
This is what
dude,
happens when you're not active and you're not focusing on the work.
and like it was 100% his fault. And I'm telling you, he has been working for more than 6 months doing that job. So it's not lack of experience. It was 100% his own fault. And he
Yeah.
acknowledged it. No, at least no demands and nothing about it.
Yeah.
But it did happen while he was injured. Okay, like he was going to be laid off
Anyways,
anyways a week later.
by chance
No,
or
no, by business
okay.
situation, right?
Okay.
He was going to be laid off by his business situation, and he was pre-warned, like, hey, next week you're gonna be laid off.
Yeah.
This is the amount of money you're gonna get when you get laid off. And because he was injured, I could not lay him off. That's all right. I have insurance. He has insurance. The government was paying him his paycheck while he was injured. No problem for the company. But he tried to hide that information, thinking that I didn't know that he was getting paid. Like, literally, he sent me a picture like, hello, this is the amount of I got paid from the government. Let me know how much is yours, how much is from the company, and how much is mine. But then he deleted that message on WhatsApp. And he was like, yeah, Arturo, so when I'm gonna get paid and when I'm gonna do this and when I'm gonna do that. And I was like, dude, I saw the message you just deleted. So send me the picture again and I'm gonna need it. So I know how much. And then say, send me the picture again that how much you got paid. And he was like, for what? Like, como que for what? I wanna know how much you got paid from the government so I can add and subtract.
Yeah.
How much is for me and how much is for you? Ah, okay. That exact moment, he just got fired.
I understand.
You understand?
Yeah.
I'm nice, but don't try to fool me.
Yeah.
Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on me, fool me. No, ¿cómo que dice la mierda?
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you.
You,
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not gonna get fooled twice. So.
And I know this is completely off the topic, but is his hand all right now?
Yeah, like.
Now it works, right? Because in my head, I have like a movie in my head, right? I'm thinking spaghetti noodles, right? I'm thinking pasta.
No broken bones, no big injury, just like hurt tendons,
couple fingernails broken and
no,
stuff.
articulates. I had another one that happened the same accident, and it was worse. But
I don't understand. The machine is metal, or is it another type of material?
it's metal.
So it doesn't just flatten your fingers to nothing?
But you're stronger than yeah, but you're stronger than a machine, and it's not also it's not.
It's not fine. Yeah, it's not. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like, let's say your fingers fit here, they won't get smashed, but they don't get smashed completely.
Gotcha.
No.
It's just a tight fit.
Yeah, man.
Nice
Sure
and snug.
Nasty. Like, I'm sure it's like.
Yeah, because I've had my finger in a door a couple times. Same door, huge doors, and these doors don't move.
No, yeah.
This is like your finger just.
Yeah.
Yeah, really bad.
Dude, yeah, I got scared for him. I took him to the hospital, and he was like.
I'm laughing. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this because some of this stuff really just like I have no other way. Like if I giggle or laugh, that's how it comes out of me, like that pain, like of thinking about it.
Dude, it was horrible, and yeah. So
But I'm glad
And
he's all right, though. I'm glad his hands are working.
he's all right. His hands is working.
Yeah.
In the end, it all worked out. But for example, he was a very good employee.
Yeah.
Business wise, I'm sorry I had to let him off with or without the injury.
Yeah.
But before the injury, he would have been rehired when I needed.
Gotcha. But now he didn't even get that chance because he tried to pull a
Now
quick one.
he tried to fool me. He's not gonna get rehired, and that's it. I'm sorry. You tried to fool me. You're not gonna get rehired. But before that, he was an actual very good employee. We didn't live in. I don't get bad feelings.
Yeah, like
Like
bad terms. Yeah.
bad terms. He appreciate all the advice that I gave him. Like I really told him like, hey, you need to go. Like he's a grown up. I'm not gonna take him to doctor. I told him he needs to go to the doctor. I'll pay for it if I need to pay.
Yeah.
And because of the insurance paid. But he was like, it took him 2 or 3 weeks to go to the therapy.
To the therapy. Okay, but not to the hospital. He went to the hospital instantly.
No, yeah, I took him to the hospital instantly, but he was like, oh, taking a chill because he was getting paid.
Yeah,
He
sure.
was taking advantage, like, oh, if I get better quick, I'm gonna get laid off quicker.
Yeah, because he knew it was coming.
Gotcha. So yeah.
Cogiéndolo suave.
And then I told him like, hey, dude, it's your hand. The government can pay you for whenever, but if you lose your hand, it's on you.
Yeah.
I had my insurance. You just go when. Then he went, and everything went fine. Look, thanks God. But
so, shifting gears to something that's probably deep in you. What is your favorite wave that you've ever surfed? What is the favorite wave that you think will be your favorite wave, but that you've never surfed? So one that you've actually surfed, one that you've never surfed.
Okay, favorite wave that I've surfed. There are two. And
way to
surf
destroy the game.
Surf experience that I have. There are two. Like there's the Puerto Plata tagline or Kyoto pipeline, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Puerto Plata in La Puntilla, the big rides when the North Falls come. Definitely have one of my few of my best experience in surfing.
I've been there.
Very spiritual, very thankful, very fulfilling, like speechless surf sessions that I have there. And there's also La Preciosa. Dude, I went there one time in 2012. I have a few pictures around there. And it was like Indonesia. No joke. They were like from way over there, like just perfect left. And it was funny. This happened. Like I came from Santo Domingo with my aunt, who's a surfer as well. Came from Santo Domingo and we surfed first at Nagua. She couldn't paddle out. I paddled out, catch a few waves, not so good. Beach break, too big, blah, 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 left. Then we went to Preciosa. We tried to go out. Let's say it was 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, right? And we tried to paddle out. She couldn't go out either. In that moment, you could go down the cliff to El Barco. But she couldn't go out. So I was by myself at La Preciosa, 6 to 8 foot. Huge.
Yeah.
And I just go little by little, get into the peak of the wave or the shoulder of the wave, and I catch a few bumps and then went out. I was by myself, scary as fuck.
Yeah.
And I went out in La Preciosa in Playa Grande, there's no signal. I went to town, had lunch, and called everybody from Cabarete. I told them, dude, La Preciosa is on fire. I talked to 2 people. And I told them like, dude, that, and they were with a few other surfers. I told them like, dude, just it's on fire. 6 to 8 foot, apparently perfect. You need to, everybody needs to come here, and I need a company. I need someone to surf with me. If not, I'm gonna go there again by myself and like
and try to make
catch
it
my
happen.
waves.
Yeah.
In the first section, I catch 3 waves and went out, but because there was no one. Then I go back. Nobody came from Cabarete. I'm going back. I'm on the cliff again, and I saw this Russian guy, Sergey, and he was paddling to La Muela, Cavernicola,
Yeah.
which was bigger, and I was going down the cliff. Was on my mindset going to Preciosa, with him or without him. And going down the cliff, I see Sergey coming up the cliff.
Yeah.
Like he tried to surf La Muela, it was too big, so he turned around and started going up the cliff like he was done surfing.
Yeah.
And I asked him, like, dude, I never seen this guy. Like I saw him once, but I never talked to this guy before.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, dude, do you want to surf? And he said, yes. Let's go to La Preciosa. I was there just an hour ago or 2 hours ago, and it's super perfect. Let's go there. And he's okay. Dude, we have the best session of our life, or at least I did.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, that guy is my brother from Russia. My brother.
Right
I don't
after
know
that.
if you feel, right after that, I don't know if you feel the same, but if he needs a piece of bread, he can call me, I'll give him. No problem.
Yeah.
Dude, like I had so much fun that session for me. Marvelous.
But it's because he was also catching waves, so that motivated you to catch waves. Everyone was just catching.
Yeah, we catch waves, and if something wrong, at least someone can have a little chance to find
To
you.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, at least. Probably not, but it's a different mindset. Like, okay, I can drop, I can, and I
I can
didn't
eat
fall.
it.
Yeah, but I didn't fall. I had a perfect session. Like I took five waves. I'm gonna get more crazy. I took 5 waves, not one wipeout, but 5 waves, 6 to 8 feet, perfect. Like from behind, 15 feet walls, like, just perfect. Now wipeouts, my session was done.
And no one showed up in the end. Just you two.
No, just me and him. And her girlfriend is a professional photographer, so I have good pictures around there. So yeah.
So then those are the photos I must have seen that I also relate to that are from Playa Grande, where I was like, yo, like Playa Grande gets on fire, like check these photos out. I guess those are the photos from that day.
Playa Grande and Preciosa are different, but it could be.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And waves that I want to surf and haven't surfed it.
Yeah.
Many, but let's say my biggest dream will be cloud break huge.
Cloud break huge.
Yeah.
Interesting. And why that wave out of all the waves?
It's a perfect left, perfect barrel, and it can get huge, and it will still be perfect.
Oh, look at that! This big wave charger.
Yeah. There's a good documentary, Thundercloud, on Red Bull TV. If it's still there, you must watch it. You will enjoy it.
Thundercloud. I took a note of it. And one place that you would want to visit that is not surfing related.
One place that I want to visit that is not surfing related.
Yeah.
Let's say there are many. There could be Machu Picchu. I want to go to the Great Wall of China. Italy. I'm half Italian. And what else?
What does that half Italian mean to you? Does it mean anything
Besides a passport?
besides a passport?
No, like my grandmother's from there. Could be interesting where my grandmother is from. I love Italian food,
Ah, okay.
so I like to eat there. And
Just go there for a meal. Just come back
yeah,
after.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. All right. So Italy, Great Wall of China, and Machu Picchu.
For now, yeah.
Go visit the llamas. So I'm just trying to think, like maybe this is where we can end it almost, because you've said a lot, Arturo. You've shed some wisdom, whether people understand it or not. I saw between the lines,
All right, all right.
and the wisdom is there, and that's the thing, is like people one thing that you touched up on in the beginning with like the getting a job, getting work, getting experience first before trying to do something on your own, I think is probably the biggest thing that you've said. Because nowadays, like, we didn't touch up about media or so, like any of these sort of like social pressures that we have and these social constructs that are now in place. But it's like a lot of people, um like, they don't believe in that. Like it's not even an idea for them. They're like, what do you mean go work for someone else? What do you mean uh get experience? They're not down with that for some reason. They're like, nah, I'll do my own thing. I'll sell, I'll hustle on the side. I'll sell some sneakers and this and that. But then when you make those calculations of like, hey, if I actually want a family, how much is it going to cost me? Right? It's like, it's cool that you make $300 selling sneakers, or $1,000 selling sneakers online or whatever. But it's like, is that actually going to be able to lead you to the lifestyle you want? And people are not taking sort of like the people are not first realizing that, like, so they just keep selling these sneakers until they're like 35, and then their life becomes whatever it is. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because in the end, like what you're sort of saying is like, we all live different lives, right? Like our environment sort of will dictate part of it, and we'll also dictate another part of it. But we're not all victims of circumstances, but majority of people are victim of circumstances just because they don't take action, and they don't believe that they can take action, right? So they start blaming external things instead of blaming themselves, and trying to actually get motivated to turn that frown upside down, like some people might say. But I think that's a big thing, is sort of like being able to be of value to others and gaining experience through that early on, I think is pretty huge. And with that, I'm just gonna find something that might relate to this. I don't know if you have anything to add in general from everything that you have said, but is there anything you want to say to wrap it up? Or else I'm just gonna find sort of a quote or a question that I have written in my notes that I'll ask, and then see what you think about it, and then end it there.
Like, of course, you can add the double wrap it up, but talking about the experience of working first for a company and then starting your own.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not the same to walk through a pathway that you have walked before, even with just a part of the equipment that you need. And when you're an employee, you're walking through a pathway of a company. And when you're an employer, you already walk through the pathway of that employee, and you know how to guide people to get to their goal.
Yeah.
And do what they must need to do. So experience is the one of the most valuable thing you can have. And if you want to be a business owner, ideally, you will need experience in that business before. So everybody can choose whatever they want, but ideally, if they have experience in that area, they will be easier to be successful than without experience. That's all I can say.
That is true. That is true. And that's why I always like find that it's important for people to question. Also important for people to do some research, and like any little bit helps, because people are like, where do I begin? And they always want to get it right from the beginning. But it's like, you're not going to know what's right in the beginning, but if you start, you at least know what's not right and what doesn't help you, and then you can adjust from there, right? But if you're just waiting for the perfect moment and you think everything's going to work out as you planned, then that's sort of not really a reality. And what I would be interesting to, I have so many things written here, and I'm like, man, all of these you can maybe relate to. But would you say, what do you think about this then? Now is a very special time. What comes to mind?
Now is a very special time.
Yeah. What comes to mind?
Nah, like
Nothing.
that could, yeah, like that's for the thing is.
Do you relate to that? Is now a special time? Or no? Just feels like any other day.
No, because of just now. It's not a special time. It's very ambiguous. You know, it all depends on what matter, like what you want to mean with that. Now is a special time to be an entrepreneur. Dude, now is a special time to open a restaurant and you're gonna bankrupt now in 3 months.
Yeah.
Sorry for you. So yeah, it's very ambiguous. And
but do you feel like 7 years in, 28 years into life, that there's still those like new moments? Like you're like, wow, I'm like really happy I'm alive. I'm happy. Like no matter what, it's just like, it's great that I'm alive.
I'm more about the people. Enjoy the ride, my friend.
Enjoy the ride.
My friend.
My friend. All right.
Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the struggle. Learn from it. Like no regrets. And like the movie, no regrets.
No
Don't do
regrets.
that tattoo, but
yeah, don't get that tattoo. I actually got, that's why I have to wear these types of shirts, just to really cover.
So yeah, man, like
I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, and dude,
it's just like push forward.
Yeah, and for example, personally, I could give you all the details of my life that could suck. That my life is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Depends on the perspective I wanna give you.
Yeah.
But my life actually doesn't suck. I'm very lucky, and it all depends how I see it. So I'm trying to be the happiest person in the world. No, I'm not, but I try to be happy, even though my circumstances. So enjoy the ride. Like find the beauty between the lines.
Find the beauty in everything.
That's nice.
No, and that, I guess what I said, that now is a very special time, can be taken in 1,000 different ways, hundreds of thousands of different ways.
It could be the fucking pandemic time.
But exactly. But what I'm saying is like,
keep it.
But it's like, it's all we sometimes get lost in time, in the sense like it's all a blur, and we don't like slow down and breathe and be like, wow, like no matter where I am today, like I'm here, and it's a very special time. But with that being said, I think you also explained it in a way that is similar, which is to try to be happy, like to pursue happiness in a way in the day to day. And that's why they also say it, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it's like, why is that? Why is it the pursuit of happiness and not happiness? It's like, because it's a pursuit. Like you're always going after it.
$1 advice: stay healthy, eat healthy, do sports.
I know a pita chip we can eat that's a little bit healthier than the rest.
Go for that, Kikaboni.
Kikaboni.
Then have fun, like for sure, have fun, be smart, have a lot of discipline, be a person of word. You say something, you're gonna do something, do it. Don't lie.
Don't lie. But
at least like
don't owe it. Like tell the truth.
Not the complete truth. Whatever you need to do.
But don't lie.
Yeah. Like don't be an asshole. You can say that.
Yeah.
So that's
well,
it, man.
Well, whoever made it to here is on the path to glory.
Exactly. And
so
whoever's listening and it's not in Cabarete and hasn't been to Cabarete, go to Cabarete. Hit up to Charlie.
Well, who knows? Maybe I come live the city dream with you, man.
Maybe Tom Love with you from Quest Bar listen to this.
Oh yeah, Tom Billieu. Yeah. Yeah. Quest Bar. No, we'll you'll have your own Quest Bar. I'll tell you that much, Arturo.
Exactly. Working for that.
Yeah. And it's gonna be better. To be honest, I'm not gonna bash anyone on live, but you just gotta taste those bars, and sometimes you're like, how do people eat this? It's very a unique taste, and the texture is not too bad sometimes, but sometimes it's not that good. So I know there's room for improvement there.
Yep.
But I also know it's not easy to create those types of things. So no harm, no foul. And in the end, I do find that the best nutrition is the natural nutrition. So that's also a whole nother thing. But then again, there is some good in the ones with the barcode. And with that finale and that finalization, Arturo, I do appreciate you taking time after work to, instead of be chilling and maybe surfing in your head and kiting in your head, like with all these boards behind you. You got a bunch of boards, actually. 4 boards.
Part of my quiver.
Jesus.
Different.
I thought there's like 3 boards.
Longboard right there.
Oh, you got a lot of boards up there now.
It's not only mine. It's dad's boards are here. Like from all those boards, there are only 1, 2, 3 that are mine.
That's 1, 2, 3 good ones.
Currently used one, yeah. There's one old one that I gave to my girlfriend.
Oh, which one?
Yep.
Can I see it from there? The one I'm guessing with that one. Yeah.
That one, yeah.
It looks like a sick.
Those 2.
Wait, is that duct tape on the rail? There's just the light reflection.
Yeah. No, it's duct tape. Up there, it's duct tape.
Okay, duct tape fixes everything. That's another secret, actually. If anyone's a surfer and watching this, duct tape will fix any ding on the spot.
Yep.
But all right, so I do appreciate it. I do hope you catch lots of waves by yourself, with your girlfriend, with the dolphins. And it's all about pushing forward, staying safe. People like you are people that move the economy, that move worlds, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not. I think you do know it, but
likewise.
We're all people that are trying to just push forward and be some sort of value in this insane, crazy society that we are and time that we're living in. So,
All right. Much
Arturo.
appreciated, my friend. You can always come with me. Hope
Oh.
to see you soon. And in
Is there always bread?
presence,
Is there always bread over there? We're always able to break bread.
not readings, but not bread. There's food.
Oh, there's food. Oh, whatever. It's all good.
Okay.
You can just tell me it's bread.
All right. Pita chips.
Pita
Kind of bread.
Oh, it is actually. I think about it. You know, every time I buy like, which I rarely ever eat chips, but when I do eat chips, your chips actually stay in one piece when you're eating them.
Yeah.
Eating it with the guac, eating it with the whatever tomato sauce. What do they call that tomato sauce?
Pico de gallo.
Pico de gallo. Yeah, pico de gallo. It actually stays in shape. Like there's other chips. I'm not gonna say what chips there are, but they break instantly. But there is one chip that will stay together from hand to mouth, which is key.
There you go.
That's why my shirts are not dirty up here. You could tell if I was eating. That's how you know if I was eating the other chips. I'll have stains just all up here.
So talking about chips, I gotta eat some now. Gotta have a late dinner.
Oh, okay. Well, Arturo, have a good one.
Bye,
you.
my friend. And talk to you
Since you
soon.
did it, I'll do it too. Peace.